Rise up, live joy your way. From emotional intelligence through cognitive distortions, certified life and wellness coach Kamini Wood is on a mission to help people see the magnificence of their own unique human spirit. Through these small bites of self-visualization and self-confidence, you can have healthy relationships, success in business and career, and live the life you want to live. Rise up, live joy your way.
Hi there, and welcome to another episode of Rise Up, Live Joy Your Way. Whether it's morning, afternoon, or evening, thank you for taking some time to hang out here with me. And today I want to talk about a topic that many high achievers and caregivers, leaders, parents, and survivors quietly carry, but they rarely name. And it's the loneliness of being the strong one. You know the role I'm talking about. You're the one people count on. You're the one that holds things together, the one who remembers all the details or solves the problems or anticipates the needs, anticipates the thoughts, and stabilizes the entire environment without ever being asked to. People tell you that you're reliable, so they reaffirm it, right? They tell you you're capable and that you're grounded and you're so strong and you've always got it together. And the truth is you are. Let's be clear, you are. But what most people don't see is that being the strong one can also feel really isolating. You can feel slightly invisible and really exhausted by it. Like you're kind of carrying on these two lives, right? You're managing your own, but then you're also managing everyone else's. So today I would just want to really talk about and talk to the people who are feeling tired of holding it all together. The people who know how to support everyone, but they rarely receive that support in return. And they kind of feel isolated from it, right? The people who look resilient on the outside, but inside they feel very alone in their own emotional world. So we're going to explore why this role develops and how it can impact your nervous system and your relationships, what the cost is to you, and what it looks like when you try to, repattern this role without abandoning your identity or your values or your strengths. So first, let's just ask that question. How do we even become the strong one? Because being the strong one is rarely intentional. Most of the time, this role starts forming long before you realize that that's the role that you have taken on or that's the role that you're playing. Some people become the strong one in their childhood. Maybe the adults around you were overwhelmed or they were unpredictable or really stressed out, or maybe they were even emotionally unavailable. And so you learned early that your feelings had to take a back seat in order to keep the peace. Or maybe you became the helper or the responsible one or the overachiever, or maybe even the emotional anchor for everybody. And then for others, the strength formed through trauma or instability. When life hits us with a loss or chaos, a responsibility too early in life, that strength becomes a necessity. You have to learn how to become self-reliant. You learn to solve problems quickly. You learn to anticipate danger, and you learn to stay composed because falling apart was not an option. So for many high achievers, strength becomes tied to one's identity. And you get praised for being the dependable one. You're rewarded for being the calm one. You're valued for being constantly composed. The world and society is applauding this version of you, the version of you who doesn't say that you need anything. So over time, strength becomes this role you don't even question. You don't ask for help. You don't show vulnerability easily, and you don't express your own needs. You don't want to inconvenience anyone. So the strong one is who you become. And you're also expected to continue to be the strong one. But even the strong one has limits, right? Even those of us who show up with having it all together, we have our limits. There's a capacity to how much we can carry. And people who rely on you often see your capability, but they forget that you're also a human being. They forget that you're going to have feelings and you're going to get tired too. And they see what you do, but not what it's costing you to do that. So they see you show up calm, but they don't know what's happening internally. And they see that you're showing up with all these solutions, but they don't know that maybe inside you've got a whole bunch of self-doubt creeping in and circling in those thoughts. And they see your steadiness, but they don't see that you're also really tired. Being the strong one means that you're absorbing other people's emotions. You're maybe the one who's mediating the conflict, you're handling the logistics, you're organizing the chaos, you remember all the details all the time, and you show up even when you're exhausted. You take care of everyone else, even when you've forgotten to take care of yourself, right? You stay calm even when you're internally super anxious because, again, You've done it for years. You do it so well, and people actually stop asking if you need help. They actually forget that you have feelings, and they assume that you're kind of invincible. And this isn't a conscious, malicious thing that they're doing. They just learn to rely on your consistency, but they don't consider that you may also have limits. And what ends up happening when this happens over time is that you actually become emotionally invisible. People think you're fine because you look fine. You become the safe one, the steady one, the one who never breaks. Underneath it all, of all of that strength that you have, the reality again is that you do feel deeply, and just like every other human, you need rest, and just like every other human, you need support too. And you need a place where your pain and feelings can exist as well. And when you don't have that place, because you're constantly the one who has it all together, that can become extraordinarily lonely. And that strength that you're showing, it's not just emotional, it has a physiological cost too. When you take on the role of being the strong one, your nervous system is constantly staying in this readiness mode. And so you're constantly scanning for what everyone else in the room might need. You're anticipating the challenges before they even happen. You're constantly trying to stay composed, even when internally you've got some stuff happening. You've got your own emotions going on. You're holding your own emotions and then other people's emotions. And so you learn to just push back your emotions because you got to take care of everyone else. And again, this actually activates a stress response in your own body. So a lot of strong people, right, quote unquote strong people, they're the ones who are going to complain about muscle tension, chronic muscle tension, or chronic headaches, or migraines, or fatigue, anxiety, sometimes dressed up as numbness, or anxiety actually dressed up as overfunctioning and or withdrawal, right? It can kind of have both. Sleeping issues, low-grade resentment, that's hard to name. Like there's just this humming resentment, but they don't really know why. You don't know why you're resenting and upset. The inability to ever relax, digestive issues, trouble actually communicating with other people, because it's also hard for you to even contemplate asking for help. It's your body trying to protect you from emotional overload. So when your role is to be the steady one, your system absorbs it when others don't. And even when you look calm on the outside, inside your body, there's all this stuff happening, all this emotional weight going on. You're carrying it, whether it's from your family, workplace, relationship, social group. It's just so much that you're carrying inside of you. And that's why a lot of strong people will crash out, to use a term that a lot of kids are using these days. They have a crash out, not because they're broken, but because they've carried so much for too long without any support. So I want to talk about, what it looks like. What are some ways that some places in life that you might see this, right? Just to see if any of this resonates with you. So as an example, the reliable friend, right? Do you show up this way, where your friends call you when they're struggling and you're the one who's there to listen? You're the one who's there to comfort. You offer advice. You remember all the details of their lives, but they forget to ask you how you're doing, or they ask but don't really listen to how you're doing. So you're needed, but you're not always seen. Or maybe you are the parent who never gets to fall apart, meaning you stay regulated for your kids, you keep the routines, you're making the meals, you're holding a safe space from an emotional perspective, right? Keeping that emotional environment safe, but inside you're really stressed out or you're overwhelmed, but you hide it because you got to protect that sense of stability for the family. Or maybe you're the leader at work who's, holding the team together, you're absorbing the tension, you're de-escalating conflict, and you're taking accountability, and people admire that strength of yours, but nobody actually checks on how you're actually doing and what your emotional load is. Or maybe you're the partner who is trying to manage the emotional climate. Maybe you're the one who stays steady in arguments. Maybe you're the one who's trying to apologize or make repair first, or you're the one who focuses on diffusing any tension, or you're the one who makes the plans. You anticipate the needs. You anticipate the thoughts. And because you're managing all of the emotional labor, people assume that you don't need support. Or maybe you're the teenager who has learned to be mature early in life. You were the responsible child. You keep the peace. You didn't make waves. And now you struggle to express your own needs because you're so used to holding it together and keeping it private. I offer those examples because all of those, no matter what element of life, they have this thread, right? The strong one feels responsible for maintaining stability, even if it means costing them their emotional well-being. And that responsibility can be extraordinarily lonely and just heavy. So how do we work through it? Well, again, we work through it by becoming aware of what's going on. So reflecting on what is going on for you. So when did you first learn that you had to be strong? What taught you that you needing help would be a burden for other people? What either messages did you receive or what experiences did you have that taught you that? Where in your life did you feel that, feel the pressure to hold everything together? Or where do you feel it now where you have to hold it all together? What emotions do you hide because you don't want to inconvenience other people? Who in your life sees all of you, not just the strong parts? And where do you minimize your own pain? Or when was the last time you let someone actually support you? What would it look like for you to soften even just a little? And what are you afraid of if you stop being the strong one? That's a big one. I offer you those questions because, again, if we can get curious and we can understand what's happening underneath, we're then able to shift how we're showing up and what actions we're taking. So this goal isn't to abandon your strength. It's actually an amazing strength that you're so strong. It's beautiful. It's wonderful that you can show up for other people. It is a part of you. We're not trying to take that away. I mean, it is evidence of your resilience. It's evidence of the fact that you care for other people, that you can adapt and that you have courage. So it's not about saying don't be strong, but it is about how to make some small shifts that you don't have to be strong all of the time, right? So let yourself have some needs. Your strength of being strong doesn't disappear if you also have needs. It actually allows them to deepen, right? Share small truths. You don't have to share your entire heart with everybody, but share the small micro truths, right? Just let your safe people know that, wow, today's been a lot. It's been a lot for me, or I'm carrying a lot right now. Practice receiving allows somebody to help you, even one small thing, right? Maybe even just delegate one thing and allow them to do it for you. Because learning to receive, if you've always been the strong one, learning to receive is a muscle that you actually have to grow. And notice resentment. Notice when you have an unspoken need and let it guide you towards, give you some information, right, of where you might be holding on to somebody, and choose one person who's your safe person. You don't need to open up to every single person. Just find that one person that you feel like you can actually share what's happening, and allow to set some boundaries, right? You don't have to eliminate being, the strong one for everyone, but maybe you're not the fixer of all things all the time. Allow your strength to be a strength and not a self-sacrifice. Allow it to not silence your needs, right? Your strength of showing up for other people can be there without you abandoning yourself. So just ask yourself each day, what am I carrying today that might not be mine? And can I release even 5% of that? If you would like to, discuss how coaching could help you make this shift, because sometimes we need support as we're making shifts, feel free to reach out to me anytime at coachwithkamini.com. And until next time, stay well.
Thank you for listening to Rise Up, Live Joy Your Way. For more information, book a chat with Kamini at www.chatwithkamini.com or visit her website at www.kaminiwood.com. You can also find Kamini on Facebook or Instagram. Username It's Authentic Me. Thank you for listening.